Hello, good people. Welcome to the mixing channel. My name is Tatinda Gurupira, and I'll be taking you today through understanding different types of equalizers. I believe understanding how EQ works will give you a better advantage and give your mixes an edge in the market. So let's get straight into it. First things first, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm posting a lot of content. I'll be posting a lot more content on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed. So the first type of EQ we have is the parametric EQ. Definitely everyone knows this. It comes with every DAW. It's your stock plugin that comes there. I'm using the Kirchhoff EQ, but you can use any type of equalizer that you have there. It's typically a precise way of cutting or boosting each frequency that you want. In these types of frequencies, there's different types of ways you could cut or boost. There's the bell, which is typically what you find as a default. There is what we call the low shelf, which increases every frequency under the selected frequency there. There is the high pass, which cuts off everything below. There is the high shelf, which boosts everything above. And then there is the low pass, which cuts everything above a certain frequency. We also have other types that are not typically found in every other EQ, but Kirchhoff has those, and other types like the Pro EQ, the Fab filter. This is the notch, where you're only this frequency that you select is 100% cut, and then every other frequency around is reduced by the curve that you have. You also have the band pass, which makes the selected frequency pass through, plus the surrounding frequencies, and then cuts everything out of the range. And you'll find out that you have typical knobs, which is the slop, your Q or your width of or whatever you're doing, the gain up or down, and the frequency selection. So I usually use this for precise cutting. I rarely use this for boosting, but for precise cutting. If you check this, I want to cut this particular frequency sharper, I can use that and cut the frequencies that I don't want. So that's what we have there. We also have what we call the analog EQ. Now, the analog, it's not analog in the sense that it's actual analog gear, but it's analog modeled gear. So this is gear that typically copies how analog EQs were modeled back in the day. And you'll find that the results are different. Now, I'll bring up the plugin doctor for you to see what we have in terms of equalizers. So this is the Kirchhoff's EQ, just a standard EQ, and this is the mag EQ, which is an analog. So this is a parametric, this is an analog, and these are the graphs of the two. Now you will notice that this is the graph of the Kirchhoff's EQ, default, nothing boosted, and this is the graph of the Kirchhoff flat, and then this is the graph of the mag EQ. Now you notice that the mag already has some alterations to the signal. By just loading this up, your signal is already changed. And if we do the same boost, we're going to go to 20 kilohertz and boost by 5 dBs. This is the graph we get. Okay, so we have that downward slope, and you will notice that as we are boosting, it is boosting other frequencies surrounding by 5. So this is the frequency we've boosted and other frequencies surrounding. Compare these results to the Kirchhoff's EQ, which is a digital model EQ, the parametric. We go to the same 20 kilohertz right there, and we do 5 dB boost, the exact same dB boost. Now you look at this graph. This is what we get from Kirchhoff, and this is what we get from mag. So you check the two graphs; they're totally different, and therefore this introduction of color can prove to be really nice when you're dealing with your different equalizers. So try them out to see which gives you a better color. I love boosting with analog stuff and cutting with parametric digital stuff. The next thing we have is the graphic equalizer. Now this is typically what you would see as hardboard gear in maybe live events on the speaker console, and this is already preset frequencies that you can boost or cut. So you can only, there's no width that you can deal with. You can only boost or cut the pre-given frequencies. And these are the types of graphs that you get when you're typically dealing with the graphic equalizer. So you will notice that the graphic equalizer is for precision in terms of an exact frequency that you want, but it also has a width to it. It's not an exact frequency cut as you can see on the graph, but there's always going to be some spillage over to the other frequencies. People typically use this in mastering. I use it whenever I feel like it's necessary to use that. So you can check that out. We'll check out the results here. So typically the graphic equalizer, be it 32 band, 16 band, can give you a lot more accurate results if you are trying to boost or cut something in the final stages of a mix. The next type of equalizer we have is the dynamic EQ. Now, a dynamic EQ is an equalizer that changes based on threshold. So it cuts or boosts based on the threshold that's been set. So if you want, this is actually very useful when you have something that's moving a lot, like a vocal, where there are certain frequencies that pop through on certain parts of the song. When they scream, a certain frequency pops through. But you don't want to already just cut that frequency, because when they're not screaming, they need a bit of that boost. So what you do is whenever a frequency goes over, if you're using something like Kirchhoff's EQ, this is the selection for the dynamic EQ. If you're using other equalizers, you can check the options of how to put on a dynamic equalizer. So you select the frequency, you select the threshold where you want the cutting to start off, and then you select the range of dBs that you would want to be cut. And then this one has the option of selecting the attack and release time. So if you check that out, it's only now cutting when the frequency surpasses that. So this gives you a lot more control and a lot more flexibility. The last EQ that we have is the last EQ that we have is the mid-side EQ. So the mid-side allows you to control EQ of the width on the center. So this is a typical, let's see this. This is the low mids or the lows. You can select the mid section and do the cuts on the mids, or you can select the sides and do the boosts in the sides. So this is typically used to control stereo width in your mix, and it can be a very useful tool if you know how to use it. We're just going to try something out. I'm going to push the width of the song to the sides. So I'm just going to go on the sides and make sure I boost there, and then I'm going to go to the lows, select mid, and cut. So as you can see, you can actually have a lot more control over the width of your track using the mid-side EQ. So that's all we had for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you follow this page. I'm going to continue posting more tutorials soon. Thank you. God bless you.